All right, so we have the changes in demand factors. Okay, the thing that's going to shift the demand curve, like we talked about. So we'll start with income. We have two basic types of income goods that we'll talk about. We have normal goods and inferior goods. So as income levels are going up, as things are going well, we have these normal goods that will also increase. Okay. So that's going to be, more cars are going to be sold when people are making money. More houses are going to be sold when people are making money. Then we have these inferior goods. Inferior goods are things that are sold because they're cheap. People's income levels are going down. All right, bad things have happened. So we are going to sell more at that point. So the demand is going to rise or shift when things aren't going as well. So, what is an inferior good that has been affected by the virus? People buying canned goods and stuff like that. Another inferior good when things are going well in the economy, when people aren't worried about, you know, saving money and things like that. Um, like the canned goods aren't really thriving. Right now, the canned goods are thriving because there's a high unemployment rate. People aren't going to be wanting to spend as much money. Some people might not be making as much money as they thought they would be at this point, so they want to save money. That's going to be our inferior good. Okay, canned goods. The cheaper, the cheaper garbage bags, the cheaper freezer bags. Anything that's cheaper, the Walmart brand stuff, Walmart's doing very well. Okay, because people want to save money that way. Okay, so that would be an example of some inferior good. Consumer expectation. The current demand for a good is positively related to its expected future price. So people think that this is going to work. Okay, that my product, my service, my industry is going to keep doing better. Okay, so people will be willing to um, spend money. Okay, also the same kind of thing as we just talked about with income. If people think they're going to be making more money, okay, if people see like as let's say the coronavirus starts to diminish, people think, oh, okay, like we're going to get out of this. People are going to have jobs again. Blah blah blah. They will be more likely to spend money. Our demand will shift. Okay, same goes the other way. All right, when we think that maybe a product or service doesn't work, okay, if it has negative side effects, if people are afraid to spend money because they think we could be going into a recession, the consumer expectation, that demand's going to drop. Okay, not as many people are buying houses right now. Okay, not as many people are buying cars. Not as many people are buying boats. No one wants to really make big purchases because they're worried that the market, the economy can go down. Okay, so as we believe something is going to drop, if something's going to be bad, the demand's going to drop. If we think something's going to be good, if there's positive effects that's going on, the expectations, the demand will go up and shift the other way. Population, okay? Obviously, if I'm a small business in a town and our population doubles, what's going to happen to our demand? Our demand is probably going to significantly increase, okay? So that's going to have a big effect on it. All right. The same way goes the other way. If a lot of people are moving out of town, if you know, for one reason or another, the our real estate isn't as desirable anymore, our demand's going to shift. Our demand's going to change. Okay. So, depending on how many people are in your area, that's going to affect your demand. Okay. If a large amount of people move in, for example, the demand for any service in Manchester now than it was 80 years ago, there's going to be a strong um, increase in demand just because more people live in Manchester than they did 80 years ago. Okay, demographics. So, as different people come into an area, that is going to have different demand features. Okay, so if as in Manchester, as in Whiting, as we all know, a lot of old people live there, right? We got a lot of retirement communities. So the demand for those for the changed over the time, you know. So as more and more old people communities were built, the demand for doctors and demand for what do old people like diners? I don't know. Do old people like diners? We'll say old people like diners. The demand for bingo has gone up. Okay, now the demand for you know late night late night restaurants or anything like that has gone down because the old people come in, they don't go out as late, they're not going to need that. The well, for gyms, for active places, okay, for ATVs or something where there's going to like action sports, anything like that. As the old people came in, it decreased. Okay, you're not going to have as much demand for that anymore because most of your population, your demographic, turned into old people. Okay, that kind of thing. That can affect. That's obviously going to shift your demand curve. Advertising. Okay, so if no one knows about your company, okay, and you start advertising, your demand is going to increase. Okay, there's going to be more of a demand when more people know about your business. Um, if you never advertised before, okay, especially if you're a new business. If you just start a business, in February, never advertise, all of a sudden you start advertising in August, and twice the amount of people, three times the amount of people know who you are all of a sudden. Okay, that's going to shift your demand curve. The other way too. If you were a big advertising company, and all of a sudden you stop advertising, it could shift the other way. People might forget that you're there, or new people come into the area and they don't know about your company. Okay, or another company, a rival company, can come in and start advertising more than you, and now they're their first option because they advertise more. Okay, so advertising can also shift the demand curve. Complements and substitutions here. Okay, so complements and substitutions is basically when we are connected to another product and that starts growing, we will start growing. The example here they talk about, or that's shown with the snowboarder, is if a snowboarding company becomes very popular in the area, or snowboarding in general becomes a very popular sport, if we're a boots company, if we're a binding company, if we're a snowsuit company, okay, that's going to help us. Okay, that's going to shift our demand curve. Okay, if I am a if I am a building company, if I'm a hardware company, and they just built 1,000 homes in the nearby area, people are going to be doing stuff to their lawns. They're going to be doing stuff to their houses. My demand curve is going to shift. Okay, my demand curve is going to, increase. Okay, so it's going, we're going to have way more business than we did before. Not because we're changing the price or the quantity, just um, because of the increase in houses being built. Now our hardware company is going to become more useful. Okay, we're going to have more customers. Okay, so what I want you to do here is explain how a company product has used each factor that can cause a shift in the demand curve. So consumer expectations, population, demographics, advertising, complements, and substitutes. That would be the same one. You can use different companies for different factors. So if you're going to use one company for consumer expectations, you can use a different one for population. Okay, things like that. Now, I talked about a couple, obviously, throughout the examples. I try not to use the same exact ones I've talked about, but if you could think of a very good specific example of what I talked about, go ahead and go for it.